One of the things that helped me to walk away from the Moonies and to start thinking again was having an objective, or what I consider to be an objective touchstone to evaluate what is brainwashing. And in my Moon experience at the time that I was in it, communism was what Moon said was Satan's world and Satan's army. So here was this book by an Air Force psychiatrist commissioned by military intelligence in the 50s to answer the question, what is brainwashing, that outlines 8 criteria that any environment may be judged as a brainwashing or a thought reform environment. And it had nothing to do with Moon. It was just talking about Satan's army. And it became obvious that it fit completely the Moon experience. I tracked down Lifton, and he basically said, you know, Steve, I just studied this secondhand. But this was done to you, and you did it to others. And you're more of an expert than I am. And little did I know that I would spend the next 30 years helping others.
We human beings are, in a way, the most dependent of creatures, despite our enormous accomplishments. We have the longest period of childhood dependency of almost any animal, which make us susceptible to a group that promises something absolute. And they offer a meaning to life and to death. We are the only creatures who know that we die, and we seek meaning, never fully successfully, about that knowledge.
I don't know how many churches are in the United States, but there would be certainly more than McDonald's or Walmart combined. There's more Pentecostals in the world right now than there are Buddhists. It's the fastest growing religion in the world. There's typically not a denominational superstructure that appoints pastors. Anyone can claim they're a pastor if they have a following.
When you talk about the number of cults in the United States, it's in the thousands. No one has an accurate count because there are so many. What most people don't understand about cult groups is the process of indoctrination is gradual. It comes on slow. The group doesn't tell you everything about itself from the beginning. There's not a day that goes by that I don't receive email or a phone call about a group I've never heard of that undoubtedly is a cult.
I've sent things down about a cult in Arkansas. They say they're still investigating. Well, it's been 2 years. I sent registered letters to the governor's office. I don't even get a reply from the governor. Dole, Elizabeth Dole. I wrote her. I don't get a response. I write the Barbara Bush Foundation about this group in North Carolina. No response. I write the senators. Do I get a response from our senators in North Carolina? No. For a country that was set up to fight against all forms of tyranny against the mind of men, we've created a petri dish here to grow it.
A little church like Mount Rock Church, it's a microcosm of a much larger problem that it can encompass countries.
It would be a mistake to say that our government is simply a cult. But our government does something dangerous that totalistic groups tend to do, and that is a kind of division of the world into good and evil. We have the light, and if you don't see that light, you're living in absolute darkness. There's a tandem relationship between the apocalypticism of bin Laden and our own response post 9/11 with an apocalypticism of our own, which we call the war on terrorism. It's the most dangerous kind of totalism.
When I saw the planes going to the World Trade Center, I thought I could have done that. People who were indoctrinated to do that act are being trained right now. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And there's no checks and balances.